Hi, good morning, everybody. This is our coach development meeting for March 2023. My name is Rick Reeve, owner of Beach Elite Volleyball, and we like to do these meetings once a month um, with coaches and just talk about how to be better at what we do. So I also put these on Facebook as well. I mean, on YouTube as well, because I would love to share this with everyone. I hope that anyone that decides to coach volleyball and help kids and adults can just um, share and do their very best, because our job is to help these young folks and these adults just play high level volleyball, and we just want to share with each other so we can maximize those efforts. So this is a pre-recorded meeting for March, so you'll just hear me do a lot of talking, and hopefully this has been beneficial for everybody. So I'll pass over our announcements within the club and I'll go right into the training. So the topics this month, we're going to talk about out of system volleyball. We're going to go over four things: face stagger lift, or what we call in the club fizzle. We're also going to talk about out of system blocking. We're going to talk about free ball, or review free balls. We did this back in December. And we're just talking about verbiage, things that we say, when out of system happens on the court. All right. So what is out of system? So an out of system ball is a ball that's passed in a way that's tough for a setter to make a good set. A team is considered out of system when they pass or dig poorly from a ball coming from the other side. Generally leads to a setter having only one setting option. If the first ball is poor enough, someone other than the setter must take the second contact. So basically, out of system means either the setter cannot play the second ball or only has a single setting option. So the counter, what is in system? In system basically means that the ball is passed where the setter, where he is or where she is. A team is fully in system when the serve, receive, pass, or dig is good enough that the setter has all of their attacking options available. So from a statistical perspective, which I love statistics, that means a three pass, a scale, a three is a perfect pass. A two is usually setting, actually it's right here. So a three means all hitters can hit. A two means only two hitters can hit, typically pin hitters. And a one means there's just no attack. It's a free ball. So setter can, they set left, right, or quick to the middle. So that's a three pass. A team that stays in system more has a better chance of winning. This running statistics in this, when I coached college volleyball, it was very interesting to run the statistics on this to see what percentage of the time our team would win when we were in system. And it's very clear that teams that are in system win games. All right, so why is learning in system and out of system important? Because it is very likely that the team's offense is less effective when out of system. The sets are not as accurate or consistent. The offense does not run as quickly. And as a result, there's usually at least a double block facing the hitter. This is very important, coaches, as we are doing our practices. Make sure that your team is training and practicing drills that are both in system and out of system. I know we do hitting lines where it's just a very controlled, it's an easy toss to the setter, and the setter gets a perfect set. The hitter is already standing or waiting where they're supposed to be. That's more in system training. It's important to mix that up. Have the setter, for example, start and right back in base, slap the ball as the coach, have them run up, give them maybe a two pass, a one pass, I don't know, and then have those hitters transition depending where that toss and that set is. Strategies when out of system. So when your team is out of system, establish who takes the second ball when the setter cannot. For the majority of teams, especially for our teams, that's generally the libero. But that isn't a rule. That's just what our team does. So figure out what's best for your team. I love the term better the ball. So we always will say better the ball. That means if someone gives you a bad pass, you better the ball with your set. If the set is a bad set, not to the right person, we tell our hitter to better the ball by, hitting a clean roll shot over to the other side instead of just hammering it and hoping to get a win. Second ball should never be set to our middle. That's very important for our team. So when we pass an out of system ball, pass a 1 or a 2, we have our libero taking it or someone else taking it. We never want to set the middle. Just the geometry, the angles just do not work. So always set to your pin hitters. The set should be 8 to 12 feet off the net, and attackers should start from farther back on their approach. Sometimes the second ball will be set to back row attackers like an A pipe D, or to higher level will be an A, a B, a pipe, a C, or a D. If unsuccessful second ball, then better the third ball. So I just talked about that. The hitter attacker, just better that set. Options for off the net sets. So this is just my opinion with this, but if the set is way off the net, we're not typically, especially for youth, gonna hammer that ball straight down. Just we're not 6'7" players, and we're still just learning the art of hitting and snapping our wrists. So my options, I say, are a high roll hit to corners, a high hit off the blocker's hands, or an off-speed short roll, which is one of my personal favorites. I love just a nice off-speed short roll shot over the blockers. Options if that set is actually on the net, we tip out to the front row corners, or we call tool. We just hit high. We hit off the hands of the block when we know that we can't get through the block, can't get around the block, can't get over the block. We will just throw that ball into their hands, and it'll deflect out of bounds. We like to attack the other team's setter. So again, when we are out of system and we need to send a ball over, let's send the ball where their setter is, because that automatically puts them out of system, making a good return attack from them less likely. All right, I want to share with you one of my favorite terms that I've come up with over the years of coaching. It's called fizzle. So face, stagger, lift. This is a term that we teach more for beach volleyball, because this is very standard for bump setting on the beach. But I've learned that we can do this as well for indoor volleyball too. So the face part isn't as important and sometimes isn't as possible to do, but the stagger and the lift are pretty important. So the more team is in system, the more likely they are to win the point. So this technique is used to get our team back into system after a bad pass or dig. So I wanted to play a video that explains this. So we'll watch some of this. This is from our YouTube channel of me just talking about it.
So we talk about fizzle. So when we pass a ball, Brooklyn, just toss me a ball. This is serve receive. This is how I pass. I gotta go. Am I rigid right now? This is how we're supposed to pass. This is what we're talking about. All I'm using is just my arms. Out of system setting and passing is very, very different. Okay, so for example, let's have Sasha go out there and do a 4. Okay, let's say That pass, and now I have to somehow set Sasha by the point. I will not come. She's going to toss that ball off the floor. Ball. Not a good idea. We're going to do a thing we call fizzle, all right? The F means we face, the S means we stagger our feet, the L means we lift. It looks like this. I face where I'm setting, I stagger my feet, the foot closest to the net is always in front, and then I lift with my entire body and I follow through. Does that look way different than structured passing? Extremely, everything is wrong. Okay, structured passing, we teach you this. Physical, we teach you follow through. Structured passing, we teach you barely how to stagger. Without a system, I am extremely staggered. Okay, so Brooklyn, stand in the middle of the court. So I'm going to give you all this. All right, here we go. Go. So again, we call this out of system passing. This means somebody back here passed a ball very back.
So typically this is for back row people, our libero, our setter. And I want to note that even though I'm setting from right back, I'm just showing the technique setting that ball cross court. It doesn't mean the ball needs to go across court. Probably the best set in this situation is maybe a back high ball 5 for our oppo. So I'm explaining that, we can send the ball as well. Our libero, if they need to send it cross court, I'm just demonstrating the footwork to send it to the oppo. But again, if I'm setting the libero, if I'm doing a fizzle, I can send it to the 5, or a lot of situations set the easy ball, and I just want to set it behind me for a high 4. So that's that's how fizzle works. It's a very, very, very effective program. One second. Okay, so as you'll see here's some points with fizzle. The technique is used to get our system back, our team back in the system after a bad pass or dig. Use a combination of your legs and arms. Set the easy ball. So like I just said, sometimes it'll be a back set, sometimes it's forward. Fizzle is the same as bump setting on the beach. If your players learn this indoor, they already have an advantage when they learn beach. The question, do I really need to face when setting and fizzle? And I said, no, not necessarily. Only face when forward setting. And if you have the time to, come around the ball. I find the pass is more accurate when the player has time to come around the ball. In our club, we call it wheelbarrowing. When back setting, obviously do not face. In system setting is deceptive. Out of system setting, there is no more deception. So, everybody in the gym, your whole team, the other team, they should know who the person that's doing the fizzle, who they're setting to. So there's no reason to be deceptive at this point. So that's why I have the face, the stagger, the lift, because everything, your arms, your feet, your momentum, everything is going towards where you're setting the ball. Players that usually have to fizzle, they're usually the libero, the setter, or the DS. But all players need to be ready to fizzle. A drill to practice fizzle is called the box drill. This is one of my favorite drills. So I'll just show it here. This is it. If you go on our YouTube, you'll see us explaining how this works. It's 4 people on, and that drill is the pass. So it's this girl, the girl that's in pink, that's Grayson. That drill's for her. So now it's for Kylie to practice the fizzle. And we're always just trying to send it out to the pins. So it's a great little drill. Also, you get blockers getting reps too. Our front row hitters transition, stay wide. So again, this is called the box drill. There's so many different versions of doing the box drill. We will do it where we'll do a cooperative where we have 4 girls on the other side versus these 4 girls, and they'll just keep it in play and just get a lot of reps from that back row setting that ball. So that is the box drill. Okay, so let's talk about blocking. So blocking out of system versus blocking in system. So again, these are strategies for defense when the other team is out of system. First thing is our front row, they'll shout it out if the other team gets out of system, off of that serve receive pass or after a hit and they pass out of system. We usually shout trouble or we'll shout out of system. And that helps just alert everybody on our team of what's going on. So one of my favorite things is the blocker pivot. So I'll just go ahead and pull this one up. So you just watch these. You definitely watch the middle, and then I think it'll be these two right here, the oppo in the middle. See how they pivoted? They pivot their right foot and they put their arms down to their right hip. This should be going to the left right here. So good technique for this, coaches. If your kids have never done this before, you should go on the other side and have them mirror you and do it so you can show them the timing with this. So you see Gracie over here forgot to do it, but here you go. So I like that. So you'll see that I do that motion. That's good. Kira's doing it. This is incorrect over here, what she's doing. So this is a way that you can just practice that. Her arms are down to her side. The second that we know she's going to be setting the ball, her arm should be to her side and to her left. And then we definitely want that middle doing a nice, easy swing block so they can really maximize their height. Okay, then we'll go back and we'll probably do one going out to the outside hitter. So good, our arms are there. Again, her arms are not there. So this is just a good way to practice that technique, okay? So again, that is called out of system blocking. So this gives our blockers a head start on where most likely the ball is going to be set. The 2 blockers will block. The off blocker pulls off to the 10-foot line, 15 feet from inside. That's typically where we have our off blocker go. For a more advanced team, and our 18s this year does this more, we actually want 3 girls so we want a triple block an out of system ball to a pin hitter or a pipe. So 2 blockers and 1 off block. And then for triple or for advanced, we triple block when the other team's out of system. We have a specific technique for our blockers when the other team is out of system. And that's why I just talked about the blocker pivot. So in order to do this and to execute this requires the front row to read the offense after the first pass. If it's a bad pass, a 1 or a 2, our front row goes into out of system formation. Higher level teams, like I just said, will triple block a pin hitter out of system. Let's talk about free ball out of system. So if the other team isn't strong at playing out of system, then I like to tell my kids, all right, we're just here for a free ball clinic. And they get all excited about that because they're trained very well on how to handle free ball. So here's another video link from our YouTube page that anybody is welcome to look at. So this video, I'm talking more about our front row and what we expect them to do. So you see when they pull back, they pull straight back. You know, do they need to open cross hop? Not necessarily. It's not a big deal because it's just a nice slow ball coming. So so here, for example, here's Avery. So watch when she pulls back. She just takes care of her zone, zone 4, and then she'll kick out and hit. And there's our libero dancing. This is our 17 or no, our 16s team, Coach Ricky's team for our Bluffdale team in Utah this year. Let's watch Ella and see if she pulls straight back and takes care of her zone. Yeah, she does. So she takes care of it, and then she can go hit. So that's very important to us. And you see that we really encourage our girls to our front row to act like there's no one else on the court. So if a ball is zipping by their head or close to their head, they take it with their hands. We want them to grab it, because the first contact can be ugly. It doesn't have to be clean, so you can just take it with your hands. So we're really big on that. So like, for example, Ella should have taken that ball with her hands. Here's Bella over here. Let's see if she stays in her zone because she takes care of zone 2. And then the back row is insurance, in case these front row girls don't hit it or take the first ball. But if it goes well past the 10-foot line, we want obviously that middle back to split and go right back, and then our libero pulls back and covers, split courts the back row with the outside hitter middle back. So again, just quick review: front row transitions to 10-foot line and covers their zone. If ball doesn't go to their zone, then they transition to their hitting approach areas. I'd recommend that you put painter's tape down for your kids every practice to help them go to the spot that you would like them to start their approach at. If it's a 3-step approach, I put it usually for our middles 2 feet behind the 10-foot line. For our pin hitters, I usually put it 3 feet behind our 10-foot line. Left back and middle back transition to split the back row and pass every ball less in front of the 10-foot line. The setter, the right back, releases to setting position. When we receive a free ball, we need to think. I always tell my players, you need to think these things in your head. Whenever a free ball is coming over, is 1, the passer should pass a 3 pass. So meaning that pass needs to be a great pass right to the setter's area. Number 2, overhead pass if it's an easy free ball. If they give you an easy one, we just take it with our hands. We just find that it's more accurate if we just take it with our hands. Number 3, we want to run a fast offense. I'll usually say, just because I grew up surfing a lot, I'll say party wave. So party wave in surf terms means everybody rides the wave together. We just have a lot of fun. We all take advantage of a perfect wave. So I'll yell party wave to my team, and that means all of our hitters are going to go ride this thing. We're going to go have fun. Doesn't mean we're going to be set, but we're gonna go as if we're being set. And so it'll throw off the defense, and then our setter chooses where that ball wants to go. So we run a fast offense. Our middle always goes. We either go in front of our set, behind our set, to draw off the middle on the other side to where we can We can do one-on-ones with our pin hitters versus a blocker. Sets are going to be low and fast. And number 4, we always want to think if a free ball comes over, we are getting the point, because statistically, we should put the ball away every time that we get a free ball. All right, lastly, let's just talk about verbiage. A lot of this has been already said today in our training, but we'll just go over it. If the other team passes a 1 or 2, like if we serve and they pass a 1 or 2, we yell out of system or we yell trouble. If we pass a 1 or 2, we are going to fizzle to a pin hitter or back row attacker. That's just the terms we use. Fizzle, face, stagger, lift. And the purpose of that is to better a bad pass and to put us back in the system with a high ball set to a pin or a back row attacker. We never set the middle when we are out of system. When we have a bad pass and are out of system, our middle should know that they are only covering a pin or back row hitter. They are not hitting. So if you know that ahead of time, there should be no collisions with our middles and our outsides and middles with our setters. The middle just knows that they're out of the play and they're just going to be going to cover one of these hitters. Everyone on the team and in the gym should know who's going to hit in an out of system ball. So again, if we pass a bad ball and we know we're out of system, our pin hitters are up to bat. They should know that they're probably going to be hitting or one of our back rows is going to be hitting. And we just need to kind of plan ahead, and so there's no collisions and there's no confusion on who gets the next ball. So that's our training for March. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to reach out to me. You can go on our Facebook or on our YouTube and leave comments on any of the videos, and I'm happy to just share this knowledge with everyone and just hope to make volleyball better. But thanks for joining, and I hope you have a good day.